TV. I'm Gracie. We're gonna do a space saver class today. So you really just need like the size of a yoga mat-ish. Yay. And the theme is that you're like on a spaceship and you're orbiting out to space. And you have this like lovely view of Earth everywhere around you. And that will help us with our, tight space that we might have today. Maybe it will give you a little more to broaden in your eyes if you're struggling with space today. All right, let's get started. So just make sure you have a little bit of space around you. We'll take kind of like a yoga-y warm-up. So just find yourself in a neutral stance and take some circles of the arms and shoulders. You can take the whole arm. You can also think about bringing some movement into the wrists and fingers. Just any kind of circle that feels good to open up and start to awaken the muscles in the arms. And then go ahead and reverse that, circling elbows, your shoulder blades, the whole arm, anything that feels good. Bring some movement into the hands and wrists. And then we'll just soften in the knees and really thoughtfully pad your hands out to a plank. Once you arrive, soften in the knees again and then pad the hands back. Move through a squat to stand. We'll do this a few times, really starting to activate the legs, maybe switching off which hand you walk with each time, checking the alignment of the knees and ankles, and then noticing how quietly you can walk the hands into and out of the floor. Last one, walking the hands out to the plank, and then walking them back in to stand. We'll come all the way back down one more time, and then find yourself in a side plank, right arm high. Find some stability in that left shoulder, and then step your right foot forward. Maybe try that without your right hand down. Take a lunge, circle the arms, maybe look up and out. Left hand will go down, and then find that same side plank again. Come back to your regular plank, and then we'll do that on the other side. Left arm high, plug your right shoulder in, find some stability in the side body, and then trying to step the left foot forward without that left arm, find a lunge. Circle the arms, right hand will go back down, left arm will go high, find that side plank again, and then back to plank. Let's try that all one more time. So shifting into the left hand, right arm high, right foot steps forward, use those abdominals, test your balance, open up the chest, left hand down, right arm and leg go back into side plank, back to plank, and left arm high. Plug your right shoulder in, activate your core, and then pull the left foot forward, circle the left arm up, lift the chest, circle the arms, right hand down, left arm and leg back, and back to plank. This time, step your right foot through. We'll take a warrior two if you are familiar. We'll just bend and straighten that front knee, bringing a bit of heat into the right leg. You can check in front of you that knee is tracking over the toe, not coming in, really opening up the hips. And as you start to build a little bit of warmth, maybe you can drop the hips a bit lower, finding the crease in your right hip flexor. And then let's come down and stay. Breathing here, dropping your tailbone down, widening the shoulders, opening the eyes and focus for 3, 2, 1. Circle the arms, come back to your plank. Hold here for 5. Long spine, active abdominals, and then step the left foot through, root your right foot down, and come into a warrior 2. Check that your left knee is over toe, and then just bend and straighten that knee, building a bit of heat in the leg, and then trying to root down with the pelvis and ribs. Double check your alignment. And notice the quality of how you're bending and straightening that knee. Really juicy and thoughtful. Let's hold it down. Breathing through the ribs. Soften the shoulders. And let your head move and turn. See your space. Open up the eyes. 3, 2, and circle the arms down. And come back to your plank for 5. Shoulders away from the ears, long neck, strong legs. Lovely. Drop the knees. Come into a tabletop and just notice the quality of the hands on the floor. So articulating, waking up the wrists and all of the little finger joints. And then just notice if you can also bring a bit of warmth and awakening into your spine. This doesn't have to look like me. It can look like anything. Just warming up the shoulder girdle, the hands, and then maybe even into the head, the ribs, the low back, and the core. Lovely. Just start to shift your weight back and forward, feeling this full crease, hip to heel. Rooting the hands into the floor. Check in with your abdominals. And as this starts to feel more comfortable, take your hands with you. So you're folding everything in and then elongating back to your tabletop. Try this a few times. Getting comfortable pulling this elbow and forearm near your knee. Great. And then if it feels comfy for you, just find a seated position, hips on the heels. This might already feel like a stretch for a lot of us. And then go ahead and come to your hips, and we'll all face this way. This is our front, and so this should be your right arm. It is also my right arm. So we're just going to shift on the hips from side to side, and I'm just going to bring some awareness to your feet on the floor. So making sure that the whole foot is tactile and rooted, so that you're painting these little semicircles. Notice if you can try to release the thighs and find a little bit of softness in the hips here. We're going to take this same threading action into a back roll that will come back throughout our class today. So as I come down, just watch this first one. I'm going to use this folded arm that we just did, folding into my right arm. I'll roll across the back softly. The feet are going to stay on the floor. That tactility is still present. You'll roll into the other side and then find your hips. Let's do that all together. We're just going to continue to roll to one side and then we'll switch. So let yourself soften into your right forearm. Roll across your back. Feet are on the floor. See if you can soften your head. Roll into your left forearm and then flip the palm. Use that hand to press back out of the floor. Keep trying this to the same side, and I'm just gonna add some layers onto it as you're getting comfy with this roll. I'm wondering if you can think about making a complete circle as you find this back roll. So what I mean by that is, instead of leaving this left arm back here and then having to kind of tensely lower, can you actually make this left arm longer? Find this crease in the hip and let that circularity translate then into the other side. So now I'm going to allow my right arm to elongate. Use this left hand to help, and then find this crease in the hip again. Try 2 more to this side, and then we'll translate it to the other side, rolling across the back, and then using the hand to get out of the floor. Check in with your tactile feet. Lovely. Let's try the other side. So finding the hips on the floor, we'll soften into the left. Bend the left arm like a mini little push-up, roll across the back, and then tuck that right arm in, flip the palm, let it help you get out of the floor. This is such a great roll to practice for really building some super foundational elements of floor work. This is how you're going to get in and then out of the floor most often. So really locking this pattern in, even if you've done it a million times, locking this pattern in and refining it is such a crucial element of floor work. Okay, great. We're just going to do one more thing in our warm-up. I'm going to come to standing, and we're going to take these frog hops. So I'm going to reach the hands, really let my hips sit back like a super deep squat, and then pull the feet to the hands. Then I'm going to go back where I came from. See if you can reach a little bit further behind the heels, and then the feet will follow. We're going to take 10 of these as a way just to get ourselves nice and warm before we start our little choreographed sequence. All right, so here we go. Reach the hands, feet forward, reach the hands, feet back. That's 1. In and back. 2. 3. Soften in the hips and back. 4. Notice how quiet your hands can be. Notice how quiet the feet can be. I think that was 5. 6. 7. Check in with your core. 8. 9. Almost there. Last one. Soften and shake the legs and hands out. Great job. All right, hopefully you're feeling nice and toasty. Let's learn a little choreographed sequence. So we'll start and we'll integrate some of the things we just did in the warm-up into this sequence. So start with your feet on this right diagonal. Same idea. This is my right arm. It should be your right arm too. This is all of our fronts. I'm going to start like this and let my knees drop, and that takes my right arm over. So sequentially, knees, hip, spine, right arm. And then it's almost like this right arm kind of breaks the left to come up and over. And I'll just remind you, we're in a spaceship rocketing through outer space, okay? Great, so you go knees, hips, spine, and open. Now I'm going to take this upper arm, and it's going to carve through this space as I unfurl my legs. Then I'm going to take this into my back roll. Just watch really quick. I'm just going to imagine that there are stars outside of this window. I'm just going to take a little carving 1, 2, 3, and that now takes my left hand down to help me out of the floor. A slight variation, elongate your right leg and let it hook around your left. So you should end with your right leg wrapped around your left ankle. Let's try that one more time. So we start on the right diagonal. It goes knees, body, catch, and open, carve, and back roll. See the stars. Open and hook. Okay, feel free to pause, go back, rewind, do what you need. I'm going to go on a little bit. So from here, we've found this hook, and you'll notice that you probably naturally just put your right hand down. Allow that right hand, just put some extra weight into it, as well as into your left foot, and you'll feel that your hips just naturally lifted up off the floor. I'm just going to step out of that hook, put your left foot down again, and open your right leg back into a lunge. Let's try that. So you're coming out of your back roll like so. Wrap your right leg around the left, and then step that left foot down. Your right shin should be down, and send the right leg back. From this place, when your shin is down, I'm going to send my left arm back with my right leg like this. If that feels a little too complicated, omit that upper arm. And then put both hands down and just imagine you're switching your lunge. That's sort of the action, but what's going to really happen is I come to a shin sit. So I'm going to step on my right foot and let my left fold. So if that feels confusing, try switching your lunge and then bringing your back leg in. That's sort of the action we're doing. It's just a little more complicated because that left just tucks in underneath. Yeah, let's go all the way back. So you have knees, body, and a break. Widen, back roll, stars. And find your hook. Unhook, step the left down, right will go back, both hands down, step right, tuck left. How'd it go? Okay, great. So, now we're going to come out of the floor with our frog hop. So we're in a slightly different position. Reach the hands, legs wide to stand. And as I stand, I know you're facing the back, so turn around if you need to. As you stand, let your arms come up, and then you're like, these are little rocket ship dials. Boop. And they can be however you want, whatever you feel excited about. I'm going to go like that. Those are going to be my rocket ship dials, but you can, whoop, whatever you would like for your rocket ship dials. And then I'm going to keep my feet where they are. And I want my hands to come down. So I'm just going to rotate on the balls of my feet and reach the rocket ship hands down to the floor. At the very end there, I'm going to come to my knees and unhook the feet. Let's do all of that from, we finished our back roll. So here we are coming out of the back roll. Put your right hand down, lift and lunge, lift, step, tuck. You should be facing the back for your frog hop to stand. Dials, back down, gently coming into your all fours position, but really notice how you're making that big transition all the way down from standing to the floor. Be especially cautious of the knees crashing down. So I'm really thinking about this as hands first, then with resistance, the knees coming down to unfurl. So it's a very delicate process. Let's go all the way back and review this much. We're almost done, but might as well just for the old brain. Here we go. It's knees, body, catch, and break. Open, back, roll, see the stars, and unhook, lunge, hands down, switch your lunge, reach, frog hop, to stand, dial down to find all fours. Hope that went well for you. We're gonna just take a crawl to basically the furthest front right that you can get in your space, and then fold your hips back to your heels. And now we're going to take our back roll, but from this position. So we'll shift into our back roll, and as we do, it's as if you have like your astronaut helmet. It's going to go over the top with you. We'll come out of it like we did on the other side in our last back roll to find a hook. I realize you're facing back. Let me just show this last bit. You take 3 steps out of the floor, and then you stargaze to finish. So that's the last little bit. Let's go from, you've just done your dials, rocket ship dials, down to the floor. So you just want to make sure you have enough space. Take some gentle crawls in order to soften into your left forearm and hip. You'll roll across the back, roll into your right side, and then this is the same transition as we did before. You find that hook. So I'm in my right side, and I'm just going to elongate my left leg so that it can hook around my right ankle. And I'm just going to keep going. Weight is in your left hand. 1, 2, and then the head and eyes are searching for your stargazing moment, and that can end wherever you'd like it to end. Let's review the whole thing nice and slowly. And as you're reviewing, just notice if you can find some fun, performative enjoyment in this little sequence of movements. It's not super technical, so notice what you can find that feels a little more rich for yourself. So you go knees and catch over to back roll. Really see the hands and the stars over the top to unhook, lunge. Switch the feet. See the back of your space. Frog hop out of the floor, and then dials back down. Crawl to the front right, and then crease into your hips. Hips to heels. Roll with the helmet across the back. Left leg is going to hook. Left hand goes down. 3 steps to stargaze. All right. Feel free to go back and review that phrase as much as you need to. We'll try it 3 times. Just enjoy finding some delicacy and sensitivity in this nice little small phrase. All right, let's do it. Here we go. Lovely. Okay, beautiful. Something I was thinking about is the circularity of the rolls that we practiced at the top, and utilizing that circularity in order to sort of help me see these, really they're like decoration, these hand gestures. And so I wonder if you can bring back the circularity of this really simple half circle roll and notice where you might be able to find that along the journey of this phrase. Let's try again. Here you go. Lovely. Let's try one more time, maybe find something new, explore something you haven't had a chance to yet. One more time. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining me. Hope to see you again for our next class together. Have a great day.